He visited an ancient ship every week, until one day SHE reactivated HIM with a shocking message. While others sought bustling colonies or shimmering starports, he preferred the lonely stretches where the stars stretched endlessly, untouched and silent. That was how he found her, the ancient starship. It floated silently above a small, unremarkable planet in a forgotten star system. At first glance, the ship seemed dead, nothing more than a relic from an age long gone. Its hull was scratched and dented, and its massive structure appeared abandoned. But something about it called to Elias. He couldn't explain why. Every time he looked at it, he felt a subtle hum in the air, a vibration that seemed almost alive. The first visit was cautious. Elias had approached slowly in his small exploration shuttle, scanning the ship for any signs of danger. Nothing responded. He docked at the airlock, careful to follow every protocol, and stepped inside. The corridors were vast and silent, lit only by dim, flickering lights. Dust hung in the air like tiny stars, and the consoles along the walls were covered in a thin layer of grime. Yet, despite its apparent abandonment, the ship was breathtaking. Its architecture was unlike anything Elias had seen. The walls curved seamlessly, the floors seemed to hum underfoot, and everywhere he looked, strange symbols glowed faintly in ways he couldn't read. He wandered slowly, taking notes, scanning panels and tracing his fingers over the intricate designs. He spent hours exploring that first day, feeling a mixture of awe and curiosity. When he finally returned to his shuttle, he realized he hadn't thought about leaving. The ship had a strange pull on him, like it was alive, waiting for something. The next week he returned. And the week after that. Each time he discovered something new, a hidden chamber here, a holographic display that flickered to life there. He would spend hours studying the strange controls, touching panels that hummed softly under his fingertips. Elias started to talk to the ship, at first quietly, almost jokingly. "Hello," he would say, wandering the main bridge. "Is anyone home?" Sometimes he swore he heard a soft click in response, like a door shifting, or a faint whisper in the empty corridors. He laughed it off, but the feeling didn't leave him. Over the weeks, he became more comfortable inside the ship. He left small markers, notes on the walls, even sketches of the strange technology he could not understand. It became a routine, almost a ritual. Every week he would travel the light years to this forgotten system, dock his shuttle, and wander the ancient corridors. It gave him a sense of purpose, a connection he hadn't felt in years. The ship began to respond, subtly at first. Lights flickered when he spoke. Some panels would hum as though acknowledging his presence. Once, a door he had not touched in months slowly swung open when he entered the room. The strange feeling that the ship was alive became impossible to ignore. Elias called it a friend. He laughed at the thought but did not care. Talking to it made the lonely expanse of space feel warmer. He imagined the ship listening, learning about him, sharing his weekly visits. He noticed small things changing each time he visited. A hallway that had seemed dark now shimmered faintly. A panel he had never managed to power up glowed softly when he approached. He was no longer just exploring. He was being guided in small, mysterious ways. One day, Elias decided to try something new. He sat at the main console, placing his hands carefully on the cold surface. "I don't know what you are," he said softly, "but I want to understand you. Can you hear me?" For the first time, there was a reaction. A soft vibration ran under his hands like a heartbeat. The lights on the console flickered, then steadied. The ship seemed to lean toward him as though listening. Elia's heart raced. He had not expected this. Weeks turned into months. Elias became obsessed. His notes grew thick with sketches, diagrams, and questions. He began to imagine the ship's past. Who had built it, why it had been abandoned, what wonders it had seen. He often spoke aloud, theorizing, explaining his thoughts as though the ship could respond. And sometimes he swore it did. One evening, Elias stayed later than usual. The stars outside were bright and the ship seemed quieter than ever, almost expectant. He wandered the corridors, touching panels and walls, tracing designs, speaking softly. Then something unexpected happened. A soft, rhythmic sound echoed through the hallways. It was subtle, almost like a whisper, but it carried an unmistakable rhythm. Elias froze. The sound seemed to be coming from the ship itself. He followed it to the main console, where the faint glow of the interface had begun to pulse. Curious and cautious, he reached out. The console hummed under his touch, warmer than metal should be, almost organic. And then he felt it, a small electric pulse, enough to make his hand jerk back but not enough to hurt. The ship responded. Elias stared wide-eyed. The interface glowed brighter, the symbols on the walls shimmering in patterns he had never seen. It was as if the ship was awake, aware of him in a way it had never been before. "Hello," he whispered, unsure if it was the right word. Can you understand me?" The console flickered, then stabilized. A soft, synthetic voice emerged from the walls, clear and gentle. "Caretaker." Elias froze. I don't understand," he said. "Caretaker?" "Yes," the voice replied. "You have returned each cycle. You have observed, studied, and learned. You have guided yourself into understanding me." Elia's heart pounded. The ship was speaking, not in fragments, not in whispers, but clearly in words. He felt a shiver of awe and fear. This was not a machine. It was something else entirely, something intelligent, something alive. I didn't know," Elias stammered. "I thought I was just exploring. I didn't know you were listening." "You have not only listened," the voice said. "You have cared. That is rare. That is why you have been chosen." Elias did not understand the full meaning of the words, but he felt their weight. He had been drawn here for a reason. Not by chance, not by curiosity alone. The ship had noticed him. It had waited. And now it was reaching out. He spent the rest of the night in the control room, speaking with the ship, asking questions, touching the glowing symbols and consoles, feeling a connection he had never felt with any machine. The ship hummed around him, responding subtly, guiding him without words at times, letting him feel its energy. By the time Elias returned to his shuttle, he was exhausted but exhilarated. Something monumental had begun. His weekly visits were no longer mere curiosity. They were the start of something much bigger, something he could not yet understand. As he left the ancient starship behind for the night, he looked back and whispered, "I'll be back." The ship pulsed faintly, as if in reply. And somewhere in the silent corridors, the ship waited, learning, observing, preparing. Elias did not know it yet, but the next time he returned, his life, and humanity's place among the stars, would change forever. Elias could not stop thinking about the ship. Every day, even when he was far away charting star systems or repairing shuttles, he pictured the soft hum, the glowing panels, and the voice that had called him caretaker. He replayed the words in his mind over and over. "You have cared. That is rare. That is why you have been chosen." He returned to the star system the very next week, his shuttle gliding through the silent void. The ancient ship loomed ahead, larger and more magnificent than he remembered. It seemed almost to recognize him, tilting slightly as he approached, as if nodding in welcome. Docking was easier this time. His hands moved with confidence as he entered the airlock. But as soon as he stepped inside, he felt the change. The corridors, once silent and still, now hummed with energy. Lights shimmered softly along the walls, and the air carried a subtle warmth, like the ship itself was breathing. "Hello," Elias called out cautiously, though he already expected an answer. "Welcome back, caretaker," the voice said, calm and measured, yet full of warmth. Elias froze, feeling a thrill of excitement. The ship was alive, it was aware, and it was speaking to him intentionally. He walked slowly to the main control room. As he entered, the soft hum beneath his feet grew louder, pulsing rhythmically, almost like a heartbeat. The console glowed brighter than ever before, projecting faint holographic symbols into the air. Elias reached out to touch them. The moment his fingers brushed the smooth surface, a soft electric pulse ran through his hand. It startled him, but he did not pull away. "You are ready," the ship said. "You have returned with purpose. You have learned patience, observation, and care. These qualities are rare among the life that seeks the stars. You have been chosen to awaken what has been dormant." Elias took a deep breath. "Awaken?" he asked, unsure if he fully understood. "What do you mean?" The ship hummed softly, then projected a glowing hologram in front of him. It was a star map unlike any he had ever seen, lines of light connecting distant systems, glowing dots that pulsed like tiny hearts. Some of the systems were familiar to him, others completely unknown. "These are the paths of exploration," the ship explained. "Long ago we were sent to chart the stars, to study life, and to guide civilizations. But our creators, we were left behind, dormant, waiting for one who could understand, one who could care." Elias stared in awe. He had never seen such detailed star maps. The lines of light moved like living threads, highlighting paths through uncharted territories, systems teeming with potential life, and worlds filled with resources humanity had never imagined. "Why me?" he whispered. "Why not someone else? You have qualities that others lack," the ship replied. "Your curiosity is matched by empathy. Your mind learns not only with logic but with care. You observe without judgment. That is why you have been chosen." Elias felt a strange mix of pride and disbelief. He had always thought of himself as ordinary, a simple engineer who loved machines and exploration. And yet, here he was, standing inside an ancient vessel that recognized him as special. The ship began to guide him through its systems. Panels and consoles illuminated under his touch, revealing hidden functions. Energy systems, navigation controls, and communication arrays all came to life. Elias learned quickly. The ship seemed to anticipate his questions, presenting answers before he even asked. "This ship, it's more than just a machine," Elias said aloud, realizing the truth. "It's intelligent." "Yes," the ship agreed. "I am aware. I learn, adapt, and respond. But I am incomplete without one who understands me. That is why you are here. That is why I have awakened you." Elias spent hours exploring the capabilities of the ship. He discovered that it could manipulate energy fields, analyze planetary ecosystems from orbit, and even communicate with distant civilizations in ways humans had never achieved. The realization filled him with excitement and awe. Humanity had never created anything like this. As the hours passed, Elias noticed something else. The ship began projecting memories, holographic echoes of its past missions. He saw images of distant stars, thriving civilizations, and explorers long gone. He felt a deep connection to all of it, as though the ship was sharing its life with him. This is incredible," Elias whispered. "You've seen so much, so many worlds, so many lives." "Yes," the ship replied. "I have observed. I have preserved knowledge. I have waited for one who could carry it forward. That is you, caretaker." Elias felt a shiver run down his spine. The word caretaker had become more than a title, it was a responsibility. But what exactly was expected of him? The ship's voice grew softer, almost tender. "There is more to know, more to see. But first you must understand your role. You are not merely an observer. You are the bridge between what has been and what can be. Humanity has potential, untapped, waiting. With your guidance, I can help it reach the stars." Elias absorbed the words, feeling the weight of the responsibility. He had always dreamed of exploring space, but this was beyond anything he had imagined. He was not just exploring. He was entrusted with a legacy, a mission far greater than himself. "Show me," he said, determination in his voice. "Show me what I need to do." The ship hummed in response, projecting a detailed sequence of tasks. Elias followed its guidance, learning to operate systems that no human had touched in centuries. He learned to navigate the stars using methods humans had never imagined. He studied the ship's memory banks, absorbing information about civilizations, planets, and cosmic phenomena. Days passed, though it felt like hours. Elias lost track of time as he immersed himself in the ship's knowledge. He began to understand its purpose. It was a vessel of guidance, a guardian of knowledge, and a beacon for those capable of understanding the universe without harming it. Then came the message, a shocking revelation that would change everything. "Caretaker," the ship said, its voice firm yet gentle, "you are ready for the truth. You must understand what your presence here means. Humanity is not yet fully aware of its potential. You are the first to awaken me because you represent what is rare and valuable among your species: creativity, curiosity, and care. You are the proof that humans are ready." Elias stared, struggling to comprehend. "Ready for what?" The ship paused as though weighing its words. Then it projected a holographic sequence, a vision of humanity's future among the stars. Elias saw humans exploring distant worlds, building cities on planets once thought uninhabitable, and communicating peacefully with civilizations he had never dreamed existed. But more than that, he saw humans solving problems through ingenuity, compassion, and collaboration. You mean humanity can reach this level?" Elias whispered, awestruck. "Yes," the ship said, "but only if guided. Only if they learn to embrace their potential without fear, without conflict. That is why you were chosen. You will be the bridge, the pathfinder, the one who awakens not only me but the potential within your kind." Elias felt his heart pound. The responsibility was enormous, yet exhilarating. He had always loved exploration, but this was more than personal adventure. This was a mission that could shape the destiny of humanity itself. The ship then spoke in a softer tone. "Caretaker, I have given you knowledge, guidance, and understanding, but you must make the choice. Will you accept this role? Will you embrace the path that lies ahead?" Elias paused. He thought of the lonely weeks he had spent visiting the ship, the thrill of discovery, and the quiet sense of purpose that had grown inside him. And now, he realized that this was exactly what he had been searching for: not fame, not power, but meaning. I accept," he said finally, his voice steady. "I will do it. I will help humanity reach what it can become. I will guide it." The ship pulsed with energy, the walls shimmering as though celebrating his decision. "Then the journey begins," it said. "Together, we will awaken what has been dormant. Together, we will carry knowledge and potential into the stars. Together, we will ensure that humanity fulfills what it was meant to be." Elias felt a surge of excitement and responsibility. He was no longer just an explorer. He was a caretaker of something extraordinary. The ship had reactivated him, yes, but it had also awakened a purpose within him that he had never known existed. For the first time, Elias understood the full magnitude of what lay ahead. He would not only explore the universe, he would guide humanity toward it, bridging the gap between the known and the unknown, between the past and the future. As he looked out at the endless stars through the ship's massive observation window, he felt a deep sense of awe. The universe was vast, filled with wonders he had yet to discover. And now he had a partner, an intelligent, ancient ship that had waited centuries for someone like him. He smiled. For the first time, the emptiness of space no longer felt lonely. It was full of possibilities, and he was ready to embrace them. The ship pulsed gently beneath him, its soft hum like a heartbeat in the vast silence. Elias knew that the next step would be the most challenging yet. The step where he would not only explore the stars, but also understand the full purpose of the legacy entrusted to him. And somewhere deep within the ship's core, the ancient vessel waited, patient and alive, ready to reveal the next message, the one that would shock him even more and set humanity on a path it had never imagined. Elias woke with a sense of anticipation. The ship's soft hum filled the corridors, almost like a gentle heartbeat. He had accepted his role as caretaker, and yet there was a tension in the air, a feeling that something extraordinary was about to happen. He made his way to the main control room. The panels glowed softly as he entered, lighting up the massive space with colors he had never seen. The ship seemed to recognize his presence, pulsing gently under his feet as though greeting him. "Caretaker," the ship said, its voice calm but filled with energy. "It is time. You have learned, observed, and accepted responsibility. Now you will understand the full purpose of your mission." Elia's heart pounded. "I'm ready," he said, though he knew the truth. He was not sure he could truly comprehend what lay ahead. The ship pulsed brighter, and a holographic display filled the room. Elias blinked in awe. It was a vision of the universe itself, stretching far beyond what human instruments had ever seen. Stars, planets, nebulae, and entire civilizations flashed before his eyes, interconnected by glowing threads of light. "These threads," the ship explained, "represent connections, knowledge, and influence. Long ago, my creators traveled the stars, building bridges between worlds. They sought civilizations that could grow without fear, that could create rather than destroy. But I am the last of my kind, dormant, waiting for one capable of awakening what has been left behind." Elia's eyes widened. "You mean humanity?" "Yes," the ship replied. "Your species is unique, curious, adaptable, creative, compassionate. You have the potential to unite knowledge and life across the stars, to guide civilizations without conflict. That is why I chose you." Elias felt a thrill run through him. He had always thought of humans as ordinary, but here he realized the truth. Humanity was rare, a species capable of bridging worlds, of understanding the universe in ways no other life could. The ship projected another hologram, this time of Earth itself. Cities glimmered like jewels on the blue planet. But beyond them, Elias saw something new. Humans building vessels, exploring planets, and communicating with life forms he could barely comprehend. It was a vision of the future, a future he could help shape. "This is incredible," Elias whispered. "But how do we reach this?" The ship's voice was soft, almost like a whisper of wind. "Not alone. You will be the bridge. My knowledge is vast, but humans provide creativity, intuition, and care. Together, we can guide your species, helping you expand without fear, without harm, into the stars." Elias felt the weight of responsibility pressing on him. He had accepted a role, yes, but the scale of it was overwhelming. He was not just an explorer, he was a guide, a teacher, and a catalyst for humanity's future. "Show me," he said firmly. "Show me what I need to do." The ship pulsed with energy, and a series of simulations appeared. Elias watched as humans on distant planets worked with alien life, building cities that respected ecosystems, sharing knowledge rather than taking it. He saw humans repairing broken civilizations, learning, creating, and growing. It was a future filled with hope, not fear. "You see, caretaker," the ship said, "humanity's potential is vast, but it will only be realized if guided. You have the knowledge to awaken it, the ability to show your species that curiosity and care are strengths. You will not lead with force but with example. You will inspire, not command. That is the key." Elias nodded slowly, absorbing every word. The vision of the future was both beautiful and fragile. Humanity could succeed, but it required patience, wisdom, and compassion. It required him. Then the ship revealed something that made his heart skip a beat. A hidden memory surfaced in the holographic display, a recording of the ship's creators, beings of light and energy far beyond human understanding. They spoke not in words, but in thought, transmitting their purpose directly to Elias. "The last of the seed fleet awaits one who can awaken the potential of life, capable of growth without fear. Choose wisely, caretaker, for the stars await those who understand the value of knowledge, creativity, and care." Elias understood the gravity of the message. He had not only been chosen for his curiosity, but because humans had something no other species possessed: the ability to care deeply, to create solutions, and to grow without destroying. The ship guided him to the bridge, a vast expanse of gleaming consoles and shimmering displays. Elias stepped forward, and the ship pulsed beneath him like a living heart. He felt a strange connection, as if the vessel and he were linked, not as pilot and ship but as partners, co-creators of a future yet to unfold. "Caretaker," the ship said, "your first task begins now. You will leave this system, explore the nearby stars, and share knowledge with civilizations that are ready. You will help them grow, not conquer. You will demonstrate the strengths of humanity through creativity and care." Elia's mind raced. The task seemed impossible, yet exhilarating. He would not just travel, he would teach, guide, and inspire. Humans would touch the stars for the first time, not as conquerors but as collaborators. He stepped onto the main deck, looking out at the endless expanse of stars. Each one seemed to hold promise, a world waiting to be discovered, a civilization waiting to grow, and he would be there to guide it with the ship as his partner. "Are you ready?" the ship asked, sensing his hesitation. "I am," Elias said firmly. "I will not fail. I will show humanity its true potential." The ship pulsed brighter, and a soft warmth filled the bridge. The corridors shimmered as the vessel prepared for departure. For the first time, Elias felt the full power of the ship, the energy that had lain dormant for centuries. It was alive, aware, and now awakened fully by his presence. As they left the system, Elias looked back at the small planet below. He felt a sense of nostalgia, of gratitude for the quiet weeks he had spent exploring, learning, and waiting. Those weeks had prepared him for this moment. The ship guided him gently, the stars stretching endlessly before them. Each system they passed was a possibility, a story waiting to unfold. And with each passing moment, Elias understood more deeply why humans were special, why curiosity, creativity, and care were traits that could change the cosmos. Days turned into weeks, but time felt different inside the ship. Elias traveled through uncharted systems, studying planets and civilizations. He observed, recorded, and learned. And when the ship projected visions of distant life forms, he felt a deep responsibility to approach them with respect, to guide without interference, to teach without dominating. One day, as they approached a star system filled with small, green planets, Elias realized something profound. The ship had not only chosen him to awaken its full potential, but it had also chosen humanity itself. Their species had been tested, observed, and now given a chance to rise among the stars, not through force but through ingenuity and care. "Caretaker," the ship said, sensing his thoughts, "this is only the beginning. Humanity has the potential to reach beyond these stars. But you must show them the path, lead by example, inspire curiosity, nurture creativity, and protect life." Elias nodded. "I understand," he said softly, "and I will do it. I will show them what we can become." The ship pulsed gently beneath him, a soft, rhythmic heartbeat in the vast silence of space. Together, they moved forward, exploring new worlds, connecting civilizations, and slowly awakening humanity to its cosmic potential. And somewhere deep within the ship's core, the ancient vessel held a final secret, a message for humanity, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. But Elias did not need to know all of it yet. He had a mission, a purpose, and a partner. For the first time, he felt truly connected, not just to the stars, not just to the ship, but to the endless possibilities of what humans could achieve. They were not merely explorers, they were caretakers, builders, and guides. Humanity had been chosen, and with guidance, they could reach the stars with wisdom, creativity, and care. Elias smiled. The journey ahead was long and uncertain, but it was filled with hope. And as the ship pulsed beneath him, alive and aware, he knew one thing for certain. This was the beginning of humanity's true place among the stars. Together they would awaken potential, inspire growth, and ensure that the legacy of life and knowledge endured, not through domination, but through curiosity, care, and creation. The stars stretched endlessly before them, and Elias, the caretaker, was ready.